On the bench today is a Sharp cassette deck, RT1155. As you can kind of guess, there's an issue with it because I've pre-tested this, and I'll show you what's going on with it. So power's up just fine, the lights seem to work. Let me turn off Dolby and all this stuff. This isn't the issue, but fast forward's just fine, which is kind of odd, but we'll see what's going on with this in a minute. I mean, and it's odd given the other symptoms. Rewind's just fine. Play, the take-up, right? The take-up spool, or the take-up side is not pulling the tape. I mean, the idler's working just fine. When I say it's weird, it's because I can fast forward, but I can't play. So we're going to go in and see what's going on with this. It's a nice cassette deck. I don't know how, you know, these are viewed in terms of, you know, high quality, low quality. But we'll pop the top off of this, see if we can figure out what's going on with the take-up side when we're hitting play. And then we'll see if we can get some sound out of this and calibrate it, clean up whatever we have to clean up, and get this one down the road. So I'm going to move the camera, take this apart and see what's going on the inside. So here is the problem. I don't know what's causing it, but here's what the idler makes contact with when you press play. I don't know if you can see this this white nylon gear, plastic gear with this. I don't know if that's an intentional rubber coating or if someone tried to treat the idler with something and it just kind of transferred onto it. I'm not sure, but this isn't spinning. Now, if I press play, I can get this to move a little bit. I'm going to try to capture this with the light to kind of show you. If I get the, looks like I can't really get the light in the right position, but let me press play, kind of show you what I'm talking about. So I can press play, and if I manually start to move it, see how it'll start to spin a little bit? See how it spins? So I'm thinking one of a couple of things. Either someone applied some kind of solvent to the idler and melted it, because again, I'm not sure that we're supposed to have this black stripe on this nylon gear. I'm going to see if I can find a service manual. Maybe it's supposed to be there. I don't know. The idler wheel is super shiny. Again, I don't know if that's supposed to be that way. What I'm going to try first, though, is I'm going to see if maybe, so the right side is really, really tight. The left side is not as tight, and what I mean by that is there's much more in terms of resistance on this side than this side. It's probably mechanical. It's probably not a lubrication issue. But I think if I pop this clip off carefully, because it's spring-loaded and this thing will come flying right at my face, I'm going to see if I can get maybe a little bit of lubrication in there, see if that changes anything. It probably will not. And that came off, and I got to remember where I put it. That's the smallest C-clip that I've ever seen, I think. Oh, maybe this doesn't come off that way. Oh yeah, it will. I got a washer here I got to take care of. Sorry, my fat fingers are in the way. All right, may have to get a magnet to pull that off of there. Let's see if I can get it with this. Nope. All right, so I'm gonna, oh, I got it. I got two of them. It's stuck to my fingers. Man, those are tiny. Holy smokes. Don't want to lose those. Yeah, I'm just not sure if that comes off like that or not. All right, I'm going to pause the camera, kind of see if I can figure out what's going on with this. See if this is even if this is even worth pursuing, because it's going to be a pain in the butt getting those clips back on. All right, let me pause this and wrestle with this for a little bit. I normally don't like to go to my computer screen and show you service manuals, but here is the take-up idler. Here is the pressure roller adjustment procedures. And look at the incredible detail. It's amazing how easy it is to know exactly what the hell it is they're talking about. So we've got the take-up idler, and here's what's going on. When I press play, if I insert that wooden dowel that I have and push this over this way just a little bit, then it engages the take-up reel, or the take-up turntable is what they're calling it. Now, here's the thing, and I don't think this is the adjustment procedure I need. I really think somebody put some kind of crap on this idler and it melted onto this. That's really what I think happened, because I can't really adjust that take-up idler, at least as far as I can tell. But look at these incredibly descriptive instructions. With power supply turned on, push the point A with use of tension gauge to make the pressure roller apart from the capstan shaft. Then gradually release the tension gauge and read its value. What are you talking about? Like, what is this supposed to be telling me? And what is this part, and what is this part? And then when you go to the exploded diagram, there is no diagram that shows the transport mechanism with the idler and those adjusters. At least nothing is labeled by name, right? So we have some numbers here. I mean, this could kind of be it. There's this, but there's no idler, and there's no image of an idler to suggest whether or not that black strip should be on it. When I go down to the transport mechanism here, I mean, that's pretty crappy, but what does this show, right? I don't see anything I don't see any adjustment that looks like what they show in that other figure. So I don't know that this service manual is particularly useful. And here's what I do to gauge how far I want to go into one of these. You know, and I always consult with the shop owner, but if we do a search on eBay for a Sharp RT1155, oops, 11, $25, $70, or best offer. Let's see what they actually sell for. $264, okay, maybe. $200, well, that's not even the right model. So we only have one sale out there, but most of these are going for less than $100. Service but not working, needs repair, right? There's some parts here. I don't see any idlers, anything to show me what that idler should look like. So what do you do in this? What do you do in this case? Right? If I charge, let's say I owned an electronics shop and I'm charging $100 an hour, right? Without a useful service manual, without some kind of parts, without any idea of exactly what this adjustment procedure looks like, I've already been looking at this for about 45 minutes, and if I were charging $100 an hour like most shops do, plus parts, I will exceed the value of this cassette deck, right? So I wish I could say that this is worth the repair. It's a nice cassette deck, but this is what I would consider a wild goose chase. So what I do with wild goose chases is I put them in the wild goose chase pile, and then down the road when I have 4 or 5 hours to spare, right, tearing this completely apart and figuring out what's going on, I'll get back into it. But the problem is, and I have to triage the equipment that comes in because I get so much, right? I mean, this is like a week's haul of equipment. So here is the wild goose chase pile. And as I triage these, if I believe it's going to take less than an hour, or if I'm just waiting for parts, right, it'll kind of camp out over here. Like all of these are less than an hour repair. That CTF 500, less than an hour. Waiting for parts on the Dynaco. I just got the capacitors for this one. Right, this one's done. I'm just waiting for it to get picked up. This is a wild goose chase. Right, I just haven't moved it down to the wild goose chase pile, but that project one is a wild goose chase. So I have to triage these things and say, okay, the things that I can fix in under an hour, I'll go ahead and work on. The things that are going to take more than an hour, I'm going to go ahead and either put in our parts room or I'm going to put in the wild goose chase pile. All right, now these I have parts for. I just need to find time to work on those. That's a repair that should take less than an hour. So, you know, this I worked on for an hour already, but it's not 100% functional, so I need to work on that. Right, so this is going to go to the wild goose chase pile because I don't have the time to work on it. Right, I have a full-time job. And the thing that really pisses me off is this was sold to the shop as a working unit, and it is obviously not a working unit. And the unfortunate thing is, you know, the shop owner has kind of come to the point where it doesn't matter what you tell us, everything's going to need to be fixed, right? Because there are way more items that need to be fixed that are presented as working, right, than the other way around. We don't get items where they say, oh, this isn't working and it miraculously works. We don't get those. We get, oh yeah, it works fine, and then we turn it on like this one. This was told, we were told, this worked absolutely fine, and obviously it does not work fine. And I know I sound a little frustrated here, but man, there are some shady people in the world. There really are some shady people in the world. So enough of my rant. I'm going to put this video out there just, I don't know why, to prove a point, I guess. But I've got other stuff that I need to get to, so this is going to go into that pile of if I get to it, when I get to it. You know, maybe this winter things will slow down and I'll have some time to tear this apart. And you know, without a good service manual with descriptive illustrations and directions, it's just yeah, not worth my time. So sorry for the vent, but it does get frustrating sometimes. So if you like what you see, hit like, hit subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.